Hi everyone. So I was just on a call with Bianca Andrescu and we lost connection. We are back right now. So Bianca, are you there? So thank you everyone. I am sorry I dropped off. We were having a fascinating conversation on creative visualization with Bianca Andrescu, who beat Serena Williams in September on the US Open. It's nice to see some of you guys coming back. Okay, there we go. And Bianca, you're back.
There we
Bianca,
go.
so sorry about that. The call dropped off for a moment there.
All good. We're back. That's all that matters.
Okay, and we are almost back to the same number of people. There are 8 months. We're back to the same number of people. In fact, now we're at 1,007 people. So everyone is back. I see similar names: Randy GaN Taruna, Seth. All you guys are back. Awesome. So Bianca, we were talking about your emotional state, right? What are the different emotions you bring in when you're practicing creative visualization, when you're seeing yourself in whatever outcome you want?
It first helps me to tap into my other senses. So my smell, like what I'm smelling, if there's a smell. For instance, if I'm playing on grass, there's the perfectly amazing smell of grass that I'll try to smell. Then there's what I'm hearing, and then what I'm feeling and all of that, like holding my racket or the impact of the ball. I think that really helps me to then feel the feelings that I want to feel in the time. And obviously, like if it's the not so good scenario, if I'm injured, I'll feel exactly how I felt when I first injured it. And then for the good feeling, I obviously want to feel the satisfaction of holding that trophy at the end, or the fulfillment of hitting that winner down the line, and just like very emotional, happy states, because that really digs deep into you. And I think that's what the key secret is for maintaining the best creative visualizations techniques.
So you're picking up on something that's really interesting, right? Jose Silva, who pioneered this process. So you say you see the mental screen,
Yes.
which Jose Silva pioneered. Now, for those of you who are listening, that mental screen means that you see the image that you want, roughly as if it's on a giant television screen. And the rule is it should be 6 feet in front of you, 20 degrees above the line of horizon. Okay, and the reason for 20 degrees above is because when your eyes are closed, when your eyes are 20 degrees slightly upwards, it generates alpha waves. Now here's the other thing, Bianca, which is new. Today, I interviewed Joe Dispenza, the doctor who's studying mind-body healing.
Yes.
Now, what Joe Dispenza collaborated with me, what he said is he's measuring people who are doing this, who have their brains hooked up to machines. What he found is that when you're at alpha and theta, you're able to better make these ideas sink into your brain. So it becomes more real, it becomes more vivid. So you're not doing this at the waking state, you're doing this while you're in a relaxed state, right? And you do the 6 phase.
That's definitely a very important key. So I make sure to do it right when I wake up. And then it just kickstarts my day. Like when you're in the best relaxed state. Yeah. That's
right. Now,
very
the reason,
important, actually.
For those of you who do it when you for those of you who are listening right now, the reason why you do it when you wake up is because in your first 5 minutes before you have your cup of coffee, you're in natural alpha.
Yeah.
Alpha is the level where you can program your mind. Now, Bianca's talking about emotions. Emotions are really important. All the studies show that when you bring in emotions, you magnify the result. As Bianca said, you said, I think, Bianca, that you can smell the grass, you see yourself holding the trophy.
It's definitely not easy. Like at first for me, it was pretty tough to tap into all my senses at once, but with practice and repetition, it eventually became a habit of mine, and it's basically embedded in me right now.
Right. So you're bringing in the emotions. Now I'm curious, what are you visualizing nowadays? Now you've beaten Serena Williams, you've won the US Open, and you're only 19. What's next for you?
Well, I definitely want to reach that #1 spot on the WTA tour.
I love that.
Yeah, it's tough to do that now, of course, but I'm doing all the little things, the preparation aspect of it as much as I can. I'm still working out, and I'm not physically on the court, but I'm still visualizing myself practice inside my head. And just like the study, it shows very similar results, if not the same. So I am technically still practicing.
So I love that. Now, I suppose you're also thinking about your future plans. Out of curiosity, what are you studying in college?
So right now I'm not in college. I definitely want to sign up at one point so I can start studying psychology. I am so intrigued with how the mind works and how it basically has control of our whole life. And I think if people can tap into that, then you'll change your life.
Amazing.
Basically, your thoughts become reality. So I think the thinking aspect of everything is very important. Whatever you think, whatever you say, eventually becomes true. And right now with Mind Valley, I'm currently doing John and Missy's life book, which
Amazing. That's
is
great.
incredible. One of the best workshops I've done. I think with Mind Valley, there's so many good ones, but I think John and Missy's really stands out there because it really digs deep into every aspect of your life. And I think if one aspect of your life isn't going the way you want it to, then all your other aspects of life
Yeah,
and
that's
eventually
amazing.
plummet. So it's really important to have all of them in the right balance.
I'm so happy that you're doing Lifebook. Now, how did you discover Mind Valley in the first place?
So my mom has always been, I guess people would call a hippie, but now it's I think it's slowly starting to become the norm. Um, but she's always been into meditation and like the holistic approach to
Right.
things, which I'm very grateful for because then she introduced me to that area of life. And I remember she would always put me books on my nightstand to read. And at first I didn't want to touch any, but she kept doing it and she kept letting me start on my own time by her explaining like the different aspects of whatever she was doing. And then slowly and surely I started to become more interested in it. And then at one point I was reading every single day, every single night. And then she discovered Mind Valley actually online. She was looking for personal development programs, and then she came across you guys. And I remember at the time you guys didn't have as many followers, and it's just so incredible how you guys skyrocketed in the course of like 3 years. Now you're almost at 1 million followers on Instagram, and 10 million people worldwide have joined the program, which is just incredible. But I have to
Yeah,
give
I had no idea how to use Instagram like 18 months ago. But then
Let me tell you, you're
you
doing
stumbled
well.
upon my book, and you mentioned that to the reporters when they asked you, could you, I'd love to hear that. Like, what happened there?
Yes. So once I got into the program and started watching some of the videos that you were putting up and bringing different people to speak on your platform, I came across your book. You were promoting it at the time a lot. So I was like, okay, I have to read this. Like, I have to read this. So then I did. I probably read it in like 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not the fastest reader. I'm starting to read a book a week. I'm slowly getting there, but I read it in maybe 3 weeks, and I am actually right now in the process of rereading it. That's my quarantine goal,
That's
and
amazing.
yes, I'm almost done. I just love how you tap into basically everything in the book. You tap into the science of everything. You tap into how important it is as a child to start learning these things, because I feel like at a young age is where you grasp everything, and it basically starts there, like all your beliefs and all of that. And I think it's really important with how parents raise their children. But even if you haven't been introduced to it at a young age, you can still tap into it at any age and accomplish anything you want, really, if
Yeah,
you put
and
your mind to it and you talk about 6 phase and all of that, which is incredible.
and what you and I have in common is we both started using creative visualization for competitive sports at 17, right?
Yes.
And of course, my results were nowhere as close to you. I just made it to the U.S. Open and then got knocked out. And this was in martial arts. You won. You beat Serena Williams and won the U.S. Open for tennis. Mine was the U.S. Open for taekwondo, for Korean karate. But mine also happened because I was visualizing it every single day, 3 times a day. I was using the Silva method back then.
Yes.
That's where the mental screen came from, for those of you who are following us. Now, in your case, Bianca, did you discover creative visualization through Mind Valley? Were you doing that before?
I was doing it before, but I don't think I was doing it as effectively as I am now, since I was
Right.
introduced to your program, because you really dig deep into the benefits of it and exactly how to do it.
Now, when you took the BE class, do you remember the merging technique for Be Extraordinary?
Remind me what it is. I'm probably
That's the
doing it
more
right.
advanced technique. It goes beyond just creative visualization. It's where you merge with the energy of what it is that you're trying to create.
Oh, yes. I
Yeah.
have.
That's the more advanced technique. And if you ever need me to
Yes.
personally teach you that, like, I'll be happy to get in a Zoom call and teach that to you.
Yeah,
It
I
just
remember.
accelerates the process.
Yeah, I remember at first I was really, I don't think I was doing it right. But if you can like dig deep into it with me, then that would
Yeah.
be much appreciated.
Hey, hang on. You won the US Open. You were doing it right.
I lost you there. What did you say?
I said, hang on, girl. You won the US Open. You were doing it right.
Maybe I was. Maybe I was. To get to that
So,
point, probably.
yeah, so Bianca, we've hit the end of our time. If you're able to stay for another 5 minutes, that'll be great, but I won't hold you to it. I know we got
No,
cut
I
off.
can. I'm good.
Yeah, okay, well,
You
let's
keep
take some
going. Yeah.
questions for Bianca Andrescu. So we have 856 people live right now. So we've been hovering between 800 to 1,100 people. Ask questions. What would be your biggest questions to Bianca?
Can I ask you questions?
Yeah, you can ask me a question too.
What's the first thing you do when you wake up and the last thing you do before you go to bed?
Okay, so really, really, really good question. First thing I do when I wake up, I do the 6 phase. Okay, obviously I go brush my teeth. I then I do the 6 phase. Now, the reason I do the 6 phase is because when you're practicing creative visualization, when you're trying to manifest anything, it's not just about your emotions when you're visualizing it. It's about your emotions when you come out of meditation. And many people forget
Yes.
that. If you
Yeah.
come out of meditation and you are an asshole to people you see, or you are still angry about things that happened in the past, you're carrying charges that will slow down your rate of manifesting. So you do the 6 phase because it's focused on first compassion, which makes you nicer. And then it's focused on gratitude, which brings out joy. Then it's focused on forgiveness, which removes charges. Now, all of these have a lasting effect on you. When you come out of meditation, gratitude, that the results of gratitude, actually, some studies have shown it stays with you for 9 months. It's insane, right? But
Wow.
people who practice, in
Yeah.
one study of people practicing gratitude, they were happier 9 months later than the control group that did not, even though they stopped practicing it after month 1. So compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, these strip away all the barriers to manifesting. Now, of course, phase 4, 5, and 6 is where you are creating the future. This is where you're visualizing long-term, short-term, and then asking for a blessing. The blessing, I put it there because most people in the world today have a religious practice, and this is where you unify the sixth phase with whatever religious practice you believe in, whether it's you praying to Jesus, or you believing in Allah, or whatever else. Or if you're an atheist, just whatever inner power you want to believe. So that's what I do the first thing. Now, before I go to bed, I do something else. And I learned this from another spiritual master. And this is where I ask myself, what is the magic I witnessed today? So this comes from a spiritual teacher by the name of Barry Morgan. And it's really simple. What is the magic that I witnessed today?
I'm doing his,
Say that again?
doing his workshop too.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's another thing I'm doing.
That's cool. Yes, I forget. I connected you to Barry.
Yeah, and you
awesome.
just you write your wins of the day.
Yes, but it's not just wins. It's not just wins. I want to believe that I live in a world that is filled with magic, that the universe is benevolent, and the universe has my back. And I never, ever have to worry about anything. I want to believe that I have magic, that the world has magic, that the world resonates with me, that I can heal things, I can solve problems. Now, by asking yourself, what is the magic I witnessed today? And then looking at any coincidence, any instance, and celebrating that, you start seeing more magic. You start increasing your rate of synchronicity and your rate of manifesting. Now, Jose Silva found something really curious. So Jose Silva, who invented the Silva method, which is where all of this came from, right? Many of the ideas over here came from the Silva method. Mind Valley emerged from the Silva method. The mental screen technique that you're learning came from the Silva method. But Jose trained people to be functionally psychic. And he found that every time you have a psychic hit, an intuitive impulse, if you celebrate it, what happens is you get more hits. And you become more and more and more intuitive. Yeah. So you can adapt that. If you celebrate whatever coincidences you see more coincidences and synchronicities. Mm-hmm. So that is what you want to say when you go to bed. What is the magic I witnessed today?
I really love that. I really think that intuition is a very big part of us human beings, and I don't think a lot of people do tap into it. Like, for instance, when I don't tap into it, I always tell myself, oh my gosh, I wish I listened to my intuition, because you're basically searching for your answers within. And other than from exterior, I don't know, pressure, people's views, you may think like, oh, what is my friend gonna think of me, or what is that person gonna think of me, whatever. And I think, just intuition really like taps inside and really brings a different perspective into life. And whenever I don't tap into it, I'm like, oh my gosh, wish I did.
Yeah, intuition is truly powerful. Now, are you training that for yourself right now?
Yeah, I'm doing that with Barry's practices, energy practices. I'm really starting to see shifts in my life. Yeah, like some things will just come over me, and I end up doing it. And then it's like the best thing that's ever happened. For instance, I haven't spoken to one of my friends in a really long time, and I never thought of about that person for that period. And then something just came over me and told me to call that person, and I did, and amazing things happened.
Wow!
Just
so you're really
like
training that
makes such a big difference. Yes. Yeah. Yes, 100%.
So have you become a hippie like your mom?
I proudly say yes. Very proudly.
That's awesome. Well, Bianca, you're an inspiration for so many people. Now, I just want to ask, for the young people who are watching, there are so many teens out there who maybe, in this time right now, are going through a tough time. They aren't seeing their friends in school. They're wondering what's going to happen in the world. The world certainly seems a lot more unpredictable, a lot less safe. Many teens are seeing even their school graduation, their senior prom just disappear. What would be your advice for other young people out there?
I would say to focus on the things you can control. rather than the things you can't. I think that's what causes a lot of stress in people's lives. Like, for instance, what's happening right now is definitely out of our control. Like, whoever thought that this would happen, right? But I think if you stick to the guidelines that everyone is telling you, meaning stay home, to stop the spread of the virus and flatten the curve, I think then that's how we can make a difference right now,
Right.
because then slowly, but surely, hopefully a bit faster than that, we can flatten the curve and then everything will be back to normal. But I think if we do stick to the things we can control, which is that, then we can slowly start to see our friends again and all of that. But until then, what I do is, and I encourage everyone to do this, is to just be grateful for the things you do have right now in your life that are really good and that bring you joy, but maybe you don't pay attention to them all the time, which is being with family or whoever you're quarantining with, having food on the table, having a home that you're able to stay in, because so many people don't have these things. And I feel like this time really shows us that we can't take these things for granted. And I'm sure that once we're all out of here, we're going to be more aware of all those little things, and hopefully our world can become a better place after all of this. So just those little things really make a difference.
That is beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you're such an inspiration for so many people. Congratulations on your big win at the US Open. You make Romanians, all my Romanian friends are so excited about you. And my Canadian friends are equally excited about you as well. And so thank you for giving thank you for giving hope for to so many people. There are still like 854 people on. Now again, Bianca, this is like, I love Instagram because this is such a casual conversation.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to stay and answer some questions, I'm happy to stay. If you need to go, let us know.
I can answer a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do.
Do you guys have any questions for Bianca? I'm sorry, say that again, Bianca?
We can do 5 more minutes if that's okay.
Okay, let's do 5 more minutes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're all trapped at home. What else are we going to do? You can't go and play tennis right now.
Exactly.
So, questions for Bianca. Who is your toughest opponent, Bianca? That's a question that came in.
Everyone on tour has something that challenges me for sure. But like the toughest, I would say, okay, I'll give an example of like the toughest match I had last year, because I've only played these players once, and the person that really gave me trouble was Simona Halep. I actually looked up to her growing up. It was a very close match, but there was just different things going on, and it was definitely one of the toughest matches.
Wow. Okay, so here's another question. What is your biggest fear, if you have one?
Ooh. Feeling fear. There's a couple I can think of, but I guess definitely feeling fear and becoming anxious of it. I think a lot of things come out of fear, and it definitely stops me from doing things when I wish I didn't like resent it, if you know what I'm getting at.
Right.
So I would say that sometimes you just have to embrace it, and I don't feel like I do that all the time.
I see. Now, next question. Did you visualize winning the US Open, or did you just visualize being the best tennis player you could? I mean, did you actually see and visualize yourself winning against Serena Williams and holding that trophy?
Yeah, there was different things that I did. So visualizing that moment was definitely on the top of my list, because ever since I started playing tennis, I've always had that hope that I could do big things in the sport. But the day that I really, really started to believe in myself was when I won this tournament called the Orange Bowl, which is an ITF tournament. It was under 18 and I was 15 at the time, and I remember I beat the first seed and I won the tournament. I think I was one of the youngest to win that tournament, and the third Canadian in a row, actually. And then at that moment, I really thought that I could eventually accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, which was to win a Grand Slam, become number one in the world, and become the best tennis player that I can be. So that's when I wrote myself a check for the tournament. And funny enough, I wrote it for the year of 2019, which is still just like incredible. I have the check; it's somewhere in my room.
So when you say you wrote the check for the tournament, you wrote a check of the winnings that you would get if you won?
Yes. Yeah,
now,
so I wrote...
Did you get that technique from fellow Canadian Jim Carrey?
Yes. God bless him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew it.
His story, yeah, is just incredible. And then I ended up doing it, and surprisingly enough, it did happen, but it didn't just happen for me to just write that check and then boom, like I would win the tournament. There was hard work that came in there. There was a lot of failures, a lot of setbacks, a lot of sacrifices, all of that. But I always had that in the back of my mind, and that made me do my best to choose the right decisions at that moment that would get me to that stage.
Wow.
Like I would ask myself, will this get me to the number one spot? Will this get me to win the Australian Open? So I try to do that with a lot of the decisions I make. I always ask myself that question, and then it happened. It happened.
Amazing. By the way, I was inspired by Jim Carrey when I was a teenager as well, and I wrote myself a check, which I carried in my wallet for the longest time.
I think you spoke about that at one of your seminars. I remember.
Right.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's definitely an amazing technique.
So Bianca, we are done. Thank you so much. We've spent 45 minutes together. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It is great to meet you in person, even though we've been in contact for a while. I'm so honored that my work had an impact in your life, and I'm so proud to have you as a member of the Mind Valley community. And I loved what you said about the community and your experience at the BE seminar.
Thank you so much. It's definitely changed my life, and just know that you're not only changing my life, you're changing millions of lives. So I really am grateful for you and very appreciative of what you're bringing into this world.
Thank you, Bianca. I'll let you go now. And for those of you who want to stay back, I'm going to give you the same Mind Valley program that Bianca took. I'm going to give you that for your teenager, if you're a teen, completely free. Okay, we're making it free. It was not meant to be free, but because of quarantine and because a billion kids are out of school, we're making this free for everyone. So I'm going to give you the link completely free. Just stay back. I'll show you on my computer how you can access it. Bianca, thank you so much.
You guys won't regret it. Trust me.
Say that again.
You guys won't regret it.
That's amazing. Thank you. Take care, Bianca.
Bye. You too. Stay safe, everyone.
Bye. Okay, so guys, those of you who are staying back, here's how you can access the program. So the class that Bianca took, and I only found out she had taken this class because she tweeted about it. But it's called Be Extraordinary. The seminars were happening around the world, but of course seminars are shut down now, so it's in the form of an online course. And the adult program is still for sale. That's not free, but the teenagers program, we have made it free. And all you got to do is go to mindvalley.com/teens/extraordinary. Extra, I'm trying to type with one hand here. Teens Extraordinary. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see it. So this is the program, okay? Again, it is completely free. Just click join the program. And now I brought in a remarkable TED Fellow educator to take my work, which is primarily meant for adults, and make it teen friendly. So that's Jamia. She is my collaborator in this program. That's what we are teaching teens. Okay, and this is what Bianca was talking about, how to set and achieve goals. So again, the URL is mindvalley.com. You can see it up there. /teens/extraordinary. And we've been testing this out at our Mind Valley University programs for teenagers around the world. It's beautifully put together. And we just launched the Mind Valley Apple TV app. So after you come to this page and you sign up, you can download this on Apple TV and watch it on Apple TV. If you don't have Apple TV, you can download it on whatever Google Android device you have. And you can watch it on your smartphone or your iPad, or you can Chromecast it. So it's super easy to use. So thank you, everyone. And since there's still like 600 people live, and since the conversation has been so interesting and we have such a prestigious guest, you know, if any of you guys want to ask questions on creative visualization, I'd love to be able to help and answer. I'm just adjusting my camera right now. Anyone? So, okay, I think the camera is adjusted. Now, we can go back to questions. Okay, a good book for teens. Well, the book that I read that really changed my life is The Silva Method. I read that when I was 14 years old, and that is what got me started on personal growth. So I would say that is an amazing book for teenagers. Code of the Extraordinary Mind is also for teens, but, you know, my book is a little bit more raw. Okay, there are some R-rated stories in there. As long as you as a parent are okay with your teen being exposed to that type of stuff, then, you know, it's a good book. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I'm having some difficulty with my stand right now. It's like collapsing on me. Okay, great. So somebody asked, do you incorporate breathwork? No, not yet. Breathwork is a great tool, but I don't really incorporate breathwork at this moment. Okay, somebody said, explain the 6-phase meditation. It's completely free. Go to mindvalley.com/learn-meditation. Okay, and take the course. Again, completely free. And when you sign up there, it'll appear for you on your Mind Valley app or your Mind Valley Apple TV device. Somebody said, how do you visualize a perfect day on quarantine? Well, it depends on what you want to do that day. Every single day, I have a goal for myself. Every single day. Now, most of my goals right now are related to my business because I'm using this opportunity in quarantine to completely transform the way Mind Valley operates, to transform the quality of our programs, to automate the company like crazy. So every day I'm focused on one big thing. And typically it is a feat of scalability and automation. Somebody asked me, are you gay? No, I'm actually straight. I have nothing. It's an unusual question, but no, I have nothing against being gay, but I am straight. What are your thoughts on lucid dreaming and how can you use them to achieve your goals? Well, I believe in lucid dreaming. I haven't experienced it, but what I can say is that Mind Valley has signed a remarkable lucid dreaming coach who's going to be coming on to Mind Valley later this year. The only problem is that filming got delayed. Filming got delayed because of quarantine. So, Made of Boldness, and hi, Made of Boldness, I've been following you, and thank you for being such a big fan. Now, what are the steps for creative visualization? So here's a really interesting thing, okay? Just today, I was interviewing Joe Dispenza, and one of the things that Joe Dispenza spoke about is that when you're practicing creative visualization, here's some nuances. Now, I can collaborate with Joe Dispenza's work and what I've studied with Jose Silva. So I've been one of the biggest proponents of creative visualization. In fact, creativevisualization.com is currently owned by me. I have an old program over there. Now, here are a couple of things that people forget. Number one, it's not about what you visualize. It's about what you feel. It's about the feeling. Okay, now it's about the feeling when you're visualizing it. But it's not just the feeling. There are a couple of things. Now, the biggest things is a lot of people think, okay, it's about the visualization, it's about the clarity. All of that matters, yes, but ultimately it's the feeling. That's number one. But the second thing is that it's about the feeling you have when you come out of visualization. When you come out of visualization, you need to maintain a positive state. Now, Jose Silva called this concept expectancy. You need to be in a state of what is called positive expectancy. In other words, you're no longer surprised if that goal comes to you. You just kind of expect it. Now, it takes training to get to that state. Okay, so expectancy. is important. Now, when you have expectancy, negative emotions disappear, fear disappears, worry disappears. You become kinder, because if you know that you're blessed with luck and your wildest dreams are coming to you, you just automatically are a nicer, less fearful person, right? So you want to be in that state of expectancy. So that is really important. When you come out of it, you want to be in this beautiful, positive state. Now, the third thing that you want to do is that you want to remove all negative charges, which means you got to be forgiving, you got to be grateful, you got to be appreciative, and you got to have compassion for life. Okay? So if you can remove all of these negative charges, what often happens is that you find that that which you want to manifest comes to you faster. But there is a fourth thing. I learned this from the Reverend Michael Beckwith, and it's called the law of resonance. It means that you become that which you want to visualize. The universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are. Now, what this means is that if you want to win the US Open, you got to take on the identity of a champion. So you may use techniques such as lofty questions to phrase something along the lines of, why am I such an incredible sports star? Or why am I such an incredible programmer? Or why am I such an incredible writer with raving fans around the world? When you shift, when you ask yourself those questions, that technique comes from Christy Marie Sheldon. When you ask yourself those questions, you change your self-identity, and that makes what you're visualizing come to you faster. So I know I'm connecting the dots between a lot of different teachers, but that's what I do. I mean, look at the number of books on my bookshelf. I interview, I work with many teachers. With Mind Valley right now, we have maybe 40 major teachers, 400 other teachers, and almost all of them I film, I interview, I co-produce programs with, and then I try to connect the dots. So with visualization, one of my goals is to make this mainstream. Now, how I'm doing it is that in addition to the Be Extraordinary program that I've launched, next week I'm launching the new Silva method. So we are taking the Silva method program, which has its roots in the 70s and 80s, and was updated in a big way in the 90s. I've now gone in, I've added another layer to that program, and the new Silva method program is coming out. Jose Silva, the founder, passed away in 1999, but his children, his daughter, Diana, asked me to be the face for the new program. I've been studying it for 20 years, and now I'm finally releasing that. And that is going to be probably the most advanced creative visualization program out there. So that's coming out next week on Mind Valley. And there'll be a free 90-minute masterclass available for all of you guys. All of you guys can attend at least the first 90 minutes of it, an hour and a half, completely free. Oh, somebody asked, how did you discover the Silva method? Well, if you want to know the real story, the book fell on my head. I kid you not. I was 14 years old. I was reaching up for something on my father's bookshelf. The book fell on my head. There's a weird phenomenon with the Silva method books, and this may sound crazy to some of you guys, but many people I know have had that book reach them in unusual ways. For me, it fell on my head. And by the way, Christy Marie Sheldon, who's one of the biggest teachers in Mind Valley. I just mentioned her as the originator of the lofty questions technique. I was speaking to her once, and it turned out she also got her start with the Silva method when the book fell on her head. So apparently this book has a habit of jumping off shelves and falling on people's heads. Look, this is one of the Silva method books I have. It's so worn out because I love this book so much. This book is 40 years old. 40 freaking years old. This book belonged to my father. I took it from my father's shelf because I loved it that much. Now, by the way, somebody just asked, anything for kids? Yes. We just took Mind Valley for Teens and we made it free for everyone. Go to mindvalley.com/teens/extraordinary. Completely free for everyone right now. So yeah, you guys can check that out. Any other questions? Okay, so thanks, guys. And by the way, I want to ask you guys a favor. So we just launched something really cool called stories.mindvalley.com. As you heard from Bianca and Rescue, we get so many stories from people whose lives have been transformed by Mind Valley. you can go to stories.mindvalley.com, and there are just so many amazing stories. Oh, in addition to Bianca Andrescu, that is the rock star Miguel. He does the 6-phase meditation as well, and he spoke about it in Billboard magazine. So I'm not even reaching out to these people. They're just talking about it. But if any of you have a story on how Mind Valley has changed your life, these are all recent stories that came in. I'd love for you to submit your story. Go to stories.mindvalley.com and click on Tell Us Your Story, and you might get featured as well. We just launched this, and we already have 5,623 featured stories. So I would love to hear from you guys. So thank you all. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for listening. And it's been an honor serving you, and thank you for having you guys as Mind Valley fans. Take care, guys. Oh, somebody said you can't access the link. Well, that's because it's Teens Extraordinary, not Tees Extraordinary. Teens, Teens. Awesome. Take care.